Street photography is usually about being discreet to capture moments as they happen. But what if you use a modern action camera? So I'm challenging myself to use only the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, which I'm currently filming myself with, and using some of the profiles that they have, maybe some raw files as well, to capture Houston cityscape. With its wide lens and fast processing with the AI chips, I'm trying to see how well it can work to be a little bit more spontaneous shots and see how I can create while just walking around here in the Houston area. But the biggest challenge won't be the wide focal length, it's how the shutter forces you to slow down, be more precise, and wait. A delay that can be frustrating for some, but also can be an incredible lesson in patience. So the first thing you're probably wondering is the discreetness of this camera for some street photography, because that's honestly my first kind of thought process. Using a street photography camera for me whenever I'm doing it is just basically what can I get away with to capture the moments more realistic. So right now it's about capturing a little bit more of the kind of moments so I can just go ahead and take some photos of just candid moments of people in a bit, but I'm just gonna get a warm-up shot to see how it starts looking. There we go. So we're just gonna go ahead and walk around, see if it feels more like a toy camera that people couldn't tell, or if it's something that will make sense, which we'll try to see if I can get a photo in a bit and go from there. Because we're gonna walk around in the good old Houston area where you either see a lot or you don't see anything. But having a small little camera like this for downtown areas for me is something that makes it a lot nicer, because I don't want to bring that much attention to myself. Right now there's a lot of things going on that I don't want people to have that much attention of what they see of me. So we're gonna try to just go ahead and walk across. Go take a right. Let's see if I can get the train in a bit better. We'll just wait. But one of the things that I already enjoy is really not having to worry about much of this camera, because I don't think it's much of a obvious thing that you're taking photos. So it makes it a little bit nicer to just go ahead and take some nice little street photos that way, that you're not going to be questioned as much. That's the main thing for me, because a lot of the times the moments of having essentially like the street photography moments is to be more genuine, capture the everyday. So trying to see if you can get something like that while you're out here taking some photos. Maybe we'll get the metro going. It's not gonna be a slow panic shot, but it'll be something. A lot of different perspectives that we can try to take. A little bit of the buildings for now. Try to take something out of it. Maybe. Since we're using I usually try to keep it at the 2x, but that's just my personal preference when it comes down to that. Because something that I think is going to be a big question for most is, how do you work with a wide angle perspective when it comes down to using a camera like this? And that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out myself, but it's the purpose of just going ahead and do it is you're going to have more to capture, so you have to get creative with your shots. Like right now we have this little tram coming this way, so my goal is to try to get it on a low angle and see if I can take a photo of it as it comes towards me and see if I can get anything cool as it gets in that low perspective. And try to get those shots. See if there's anybody in there that we can take a photo of. Not really, but we'll just take this one right here. There we go. But having the wider angle, you have to be more precise of what you want to capture. That's always been a thing for me whenever I shoot in a wider range. It's just I have to figure out what I want to do. And that's why for me, because of these types of cameras, I try to keep it at the 2x rather than the 1x, just due to the fact that it's still wide, but it's not overly wide. Because if I go back into the out and I take a photo right now and I just do that shot right there, but then I go ahead and start zooming in a second as it's being done and then take that out, that's what it looks like. So get a little bit of a different perspective in that aspect. So most of the time I try to keep it in the 2x just due to the fact that it still has good enough megapixels and everything of quality, but I'm also able to capture good wideness without being too wide. I feel like that's a bigger issue with these kind of cameras themselves. It's just the ultra wideness is what gets you a little bit more. So hold on a second. Trying to get a reflection of some sort. I like the light on the thing over here. Maybe we'll get something kind of cool, but because it is a wider perspective, it might not be as good, but we'll still try it. I wish there was a subject, but we'll take what we can get. See if I can get a reflection shot. There we go. Got our nice reflection. Trying to be with the wide, like I said, it's all about perspective, and you have to get used to what you can do with this to see if you can get something creative that makes sense. The one advantage that I think having a camera like this for photography, when it comes down to the street photography, and especially if you're not wanting to edit as much, is the profiles that it has. Right now, I've been kind of messing around with them. I was using the CC film, but I want to use a little bit of the black and white with the Leica profile. So we're going to shoot some Leica black and white and kind of go from there to take some nice street photography with it, because the whole point of being able to have a camera like this is because it makes it easier for you. I'm trying not to edit any of these photos if I can avoid it, but if I find that one of them is really great, my goal will be to edit it. So right now we're going to do a little bit of the black and white Leica profiles, because it just makes it a little bit easier to see how I can envision a shot as well, with a little bit of the black and white to focus more on the lighting. Trying to find that, oh, that old man with the light would have been nice, but of course, and there's not enough people to walk around, that I'm like, oh, I'll take a photo from, like, I'll go over there. I'm just gonna take them from here though. So see the light right there? Looks nice with the black and white. So take a little bit of a photo. Would have been nice to be able closer to the subject, but this guy's about to walk, hopefully that way. It'll be a little bit of a further distance, but we're gonna have to make it work with our wide lens. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't, but at least we'll have a moment that we can have him walk right across, slowly but surely, where the light is. Once the light hits him, I'm taking the shot, and bam, got him. As good as it gets from a wide lens camera like this, but at least you have that contrast of light, which is what I look for, and it allows me just to go ahead and detach myself from my actual camera, because it's good to have something that'll keep you thinking a different way, to just challenge yourself. And I'm not usually used to shooting with a super wide lens, so kind of interesting to do that, but at least seeing the vision with the Leica profiles, or just profiles in general, helps out a lot. It looks kind of cool with the, I'm gonna see if I can take a cool photo of maybe this one over here. There we go. Just want to get a couple more examples of some street photography, if you will, with the black and white, because I genuinely like to shoot in black and white in camera, whether I keep it or not in my professional cameras for post. It just helps me see where the light is to make sense of things. So if I'm going, you know, turning this on and kind of seeing what would look cool, I'll have you even walk across, Kels, and bam, got her. But I think having this for like a little bit of fast and efficient to take out of your pocket, turn it on, take some photos, something that's kind of nice to have when it comes down to just having a pocketable camera like this that doesn't have to be necessarily your phone every time. You can just go ahead, I want to say take my photo, boom, I'm done, and I can move on and then put it in my pocket if I want to. So having a little bit of a slow down turn is nice, but also you have the portability of this camera that makes it a lot nicer to have. And I think that this camera is something cool to have, because if you know you're gonna need something with video to capture some behind the scenes moments or anything, having the access to be able to do some street photography with it, or just photography in general, is something that I find a plus of an action camera. Because most of my other action cameras literally just sit in the, you know, closet or something, unless I know I have a specific purpose to go ahead and use it. Like right now, that, you know, I would just be filming, let's say, instead of just knowing that I'm going to film but also take some photos or something of the sort. And that's the main issue that I think most people can't separate from it. And I think that once you kind of know that you can have a camera that can do both, not perfect or anything like that, is nice.